and we're getting changed in a cornfield in a caravan with no power.
Hi besties, and welcome back to West End Best Friend. And today we are talking to a very special guest. Well, not just one guest, but three guests, in fact. Members of the band The Barricade Boys, soon to be coming to London's West End. Welcome to West End Best Friend. Who do we have here?
I'm Kieran.
I'm Scott.
And I'm Simon.
Kieran, Scott, and Simon. How's it going for everybody? How are you guys doing?
Doing really well, thank you. Very happy to be here chatting to your lovely self, Callum.
And you're fresh from performing in New York to a sold-out New York debut. How huge is that?
Yeah, that was really exciting. We were out over in New York. We did a few gigs over there, and we finished by doing an intimate performance at 54 Below, which was just amazing. It's such a prestigious venue. Broadway World came and reviewed us, and honestly, if you could get your mum to write you a review, it was that good for us. We couldn't believe it, so we keep sending it to anybody. We're like, hey, read this review because it's so good.
It's genuinely somewhere that's always been on my bucket list of venues to perform at. I've always heard of 54 Below, and you've got huge Broadway stars like Patti LuPone did a residency there. You know, all these huge names have always done gigs there, and it's always been somewhere that I desperately wanted to perform. So probably one of the most special evenings of my entire career.
Did you ever think that that it would reach to this point? Did you ever think that you guys would get to be performing in these venues across the pond, such as this?
No.
Simple answer.
Simple answer, no. I thought we were opening at Charing Cross and we'd close at Charing Cross Theatre. But what it's still in 8 years is incredible, you know. And
it's one of those things. It was an idea, you know, that we sort of developed and we sort of worked on and honed in, and it's just become this thing that's kind of surpassed all of our expectations. You know, we've got to travel all over the world with the group. We've been to Dubai and New Zealand, and obviously America's a big one for us, and we've got so many dates in America now this year and into next year, which is really exciting. And the fact that we get to come back and do it in the UK, you know, it's such varied in different venues. Like we're doing Chepstow, Castle Rock. We go to the Edinburgh Festival, and then we go to the Adelphi, and then, you know, we're in St David's Hall in Cardiff. Like it's just really cool to get to kind of change the show around in different formats and strip it back and add a huge band and then do just piano and then with tracks. And I love that side of it. Like it always seems fresh and exciting.
This was going to be my next question, actually, is because you've gone to all these different places and you've been going for, I think you just said 8 years now. How do you kind of keep it fresh? What keeps you guys coming back as a group performing together?
I think we kind of gel well with each other on stage. We kind of feed each other the energy on stage, but also the response. I don't think I've ever done a Barricade Boys show where we haven't had a standing ovation. At least one standing ovation at the end of the show, and that's not me, saying, "Oh, we're blowing on trumpets," but I am a little bit because it's true. You should. We get standing ovation, and I think the other thing is that no one really knows what to expect from our show. I think there's some kind of expectation that it's because we're the Barricade Boys and we've all been in Les Mis, and that's that's the thing that kind of unites us and the group. They sometimes expect just to be ballad after ballad after ballad, and our show is definitely not that. There's a bit of something for everyone, and people don't expect that. And a lot of the feedback we get at the end of the show, which is often the nicest part, is to hear what people enjoyed, is that they weren't expecting us to sing Queen songs, they weren't expecting us to sing, Motown and stuff, and they were really, really surprised. But they love the ballads, obviously, and there's a huge love for Les Mis still everywhere you go. So they're kind of ticking everyone's boxes. So we feed off that energy, and also, like Scott said, every time we go somewhere, it's different, whether we've got the band or whether it's an outdoor setup, or everything's different, and we just have to roll with it.
I think when we did especially we would never do these things. When we did came out of COVID, we were in a field and we were getting changed in a cornfield in a caravan with no power,
no electricity, using iPhone torchlights to get dressed.
That was fun. So you go from that again to the Adelphi Theatre. So I think it is just diverse, and we did twice. We did a residency at the other Palace Theatre, which was just a piano, and that was very intimate and kind of a completely different show. And then we go back to performing with a 7-piece band in front of 1,500 people. And I think we like different things from different audiences, I think.
So this is a show that is coming to the Adelphi Theatre very, very soon. It's the Barricade Boys West End Party. Now, the party is, of course, a very important aspect of this show. What can you tell us? What's new? What can people look forward to if they're coming to see these shows?
I think, and it's hard, as we keep saying, it's hard to put the show into like a little box and say this is what it is. But I think that's kind of half the appeal as well. is that we want people to kind of come with this idea of like, oh, I don't really know what to expect. But I think West End Party really encapsulates what it is. It's a big old party. We're singing songs that people love, songs that they'll know. Of course, all the ballads and the great stuff that shows off our 4-part harmonies and our voices with that kind of Les Mis style. But this time, for example, we're doing a West End Party medley where we've got like You Can't Stop the Beat and The Time Warp and You'll Be Back from Hamilton and all kinds of things mashed together. We're doing some Ed Sheeran. We're doing Defying Gravity, the brand new arrangement, like a rock version of Defying Gravity, which is new for us, which is exciting. It really is a full-on party show that hopefully people just get behind and enjoy dancing along, you know.
That just sounds amazing. It sounds like you guys have just kind of rolled the dice and just kind of picked random songs, but of course they're all going to be fantastic, aren't they?
Hope so.
You can tell us.
Well, yeah, definitely. And people at home as well will be able to book tickets now, of course. So I'm thinking, when you put together this set list, you wanted something fresh, you wanted something different. What makes a Barricade Boys performance? Of course, whether it's a ballad or whether it is Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm wondering if, from each of you, what makes it the Barricade Boys?
For me, I think we take the work incredibly seriously. So we make sure that it sounds amazing. We work hard on the harmonies. We want to impress the audience, but we don't take ourselves too seriously. So when you come and see the show, we are having a laugh, we're joking, we're taking the mick out of each other and the audience, we're getting everyone involved. But then when we have to stand and sing Bring 'Em Home, for example, we really want to impress them. So we've kind of always lived by that ethos that we make sure that the product's really good and that we're doing a great job and people are getting value for money, but we're also having a good time and hopefully they are too.
We also have a laugh, but we don't laugh at the audience's expense. We always include them. They're always part of the joke. We've got the odd little thing that's just between us. Simon has this ridiculous thing. I'm going to reveal it now. He just a silly little kiss on my shoulder. He just does a little kiss on my shoulder when he thinks no one's looking, and it just makes me absolutely not be able to sing or speak. I do, but
and that's just in private. It's nothing to do with the show. That's just in there.
Yeah, it's a silly thing because he knows it makes people laugh. So sometimes I'll try to get him back, and I always miss. And I end up just looking as if I'm doing something really weird. But it's just little things like that. But it's never at the audience's expense. We include them in everything. We're there for them, and they're there to feed us energy as well. So
everyone's going to be looking out for that now in the shows. They're going to be.
We're not going to do it next time.
Bingo card. What about you, Simon? You've had time to think now.
I'm looking forward to every gig. I genuinely do. Whether it be a small one or a big one, whether we're going to the America or whether we're going anywhere, really. I just love hanging out with these guys and especially doing the show with them, because you can sit back and I know everyone's going to be amazing. Regardless, not one show is ever the same, which makes, I don't know how that's possible, really, but never. Something always happens, not staged, but something will happen. And it's different again, that makes our job much more enjoyable.
We also have a really great musical director, James, who we call the unofficial fifth Barricade Boy, and he has a number with his fantastic band, and he just goes nuts. It's just crazy, and the response he gets from the audience, because we're including the band as well. It's not just about us. It's about everyone on stage, and again, the audience don't expect it. And James is a phenomenal talent, and he really kind of completes our lineup and makes a show as well. So, and
he sings.
Yeah. Arguably better than all of us, which is annoying. And he's the musical director.
Maybe it's time to expand the band.
Yeah, maybe. I think you're right. Yeah, I think he'd like that. I think he'd be very happy.
I really like that.
Maybe. Well, we never know. And as you guys have said, this show where you are now is 8 years in the making. You've been working hard at this for so long. Are there any events kind of that stick out in you guys' heads as like you've been able to step back and go, this is it, we've made it? What was that moment for each of you, or has it happened yet? Maybe you're still kind of striving for something.
I mean, you never know, do you? You never know until your best years are behind you, I guess, in any sense. But we do always say this to each other, is this it? Yeah, is this the best bit? Have we done it? So I think there are different moments. I know we'll probably all say different ones here. Different moments where we've gone, this is great, this is brilliant. Kieran, which one would be yours? I think I know Scott's.
I know. It's tough between 54 Below, obviously, for the reasons I mentioned earlier, but also we were invited to go to Washington just a few months ago, earlier this year, for this huge event that was beyond anything I'd ever seen, to sing just literally 2 or 3 songs.
Right.
We were so well looked after, and it really was the creme de la creme of American society, politics, and everything. And I just kept pinching myself. We were put up in this beautiful hotel. We were so well looked after. The performance venue was amazing, where we were singing, and I just kept pinching myself, saying, "Is this happening? Are we actually in Washington performing for these people?" You know, we had very senior people from the White House. Bill Gates was there. You know,
wow.
We were at 3 events with Bill Gates. There was a bald eagle flying over our heads at a dinner that we were invited to as guests, and it was just like, is this real? And then I had to fly back the following day and open the Mousetrap in Stoke on Trent. So it went from one extreme to the other.
Fantastic.
Which was very good in
better. Which was better?
I'm not going to say that on camera.
Fair enough. But that is amazing to hear. That must have been incredible. Okay, so neither of you two can choose that one now.
I think the one for me was we were invited to perform on Broadway at the St. James Theatre for the Make Believe Gala.
Yeah.
And they were honouring lots of people's charitable work for that particular charity. But one of the people they were honouring that night was Jude Law. And we didn't know, but he's a fan of Les Mis, and so they invited our group to come over and sing a song specifically for him. So, and this is a true story, you can find it on YouTube. We changed the lyrics from One Day More to One Jude Law, and sang the entire song about Jude Law, who was sat in the audience. Doing it, the actual performance was incredible, don't get me wrong, you know, he sat there and it was full house. But when we did the rehearsal and we walked out onto the stage and just looked out on a Broadway stage, you know, and we had amazing Broadway performers were also in the show, and that was a real moment for me. It was like, wow, this little idea is now here, has been invited here, been flown out to New York to sing for Jude Law, who we hung out with after the show in this little pizza place. It was a lovely guy. And I just thought, that's making it, you know. It's not about making money and all those things. Of course, that helps because you've got to pay your rent and your mortgages and stuff. But it's just those little moments of being like, wow, someone else has acknowledged that this idea is good. It's not just us now that think that. And that was really special.
And Jude Law, of all people.
Jude Law, who is unbelievably handsome in person. You know, when you just meet someone, you go, oh, that's the reason you're a Hollywood star, because you just look like no one else. Like, it's crazy.
Is that the one thing that sticks in your memory as well, above all else?
Yeah, how handsome Jude Law was. That's it.
Fantastic.
I knew Scott would say that one because that was one of mine. I'm still going to say, because it gave me the biggest feeling, the first one, Charing Cross. It wasn't like we made it. It was like we'd done it. You know,
this is
not everybody did concerts in those days 8 years ago. It wasn't a thing. So for us to create it was mad, and to have the amazing people that we had on stage, because it wasn't just the 4 of us. There was 7 or 8 of us. Everybody had been in Les Mis. You know, we had some amazing people that gave their time, and it sold out in about a week or 2. And then when we did it, you know, for the first ever time with a 7-piece band and ourselves, it went down well. You know, we didn't know what any of song was going to do, and it just hit. Granted, we had 7 months of then nothing, but that feeling that afterwards, I don't think I'll ever forget that. That was very special.
That's brilliant. It's a wonderful kind of group atmosphere that you guys have got, and I can sense this just from talking to you now. And of course, we've got Craig as well, who's elsewhere. But like I can see that you guys are such a wonderful group together, and I hope that audiences coming to see this show kind of get the same sense for that. It's going to be fab.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for taking the time to chat to us here at West End Best Friend. It's been great to talk to you, and we're all very, very excited about the show. So people at home, make sure you're booking your tickets now if they haven't gone already, and these guys will see you there.
Can't wait.